Hey everybody, this is Mr. Summerhays, and this lesson is solving quadratics by completing the square. Let's go ahead and get started with completing the square. So here's how to do it, you guys. So first you add out, so steps to completing the square of x squared. Notice there's no number in front of x squared. That's a harder lesson, so we're leaving that part out for today and for Algebra 1. We'll pick this up in Algebra 2 when that's like a 5x squared. Anyway, so we're going to complete the square of x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So the first step is to get rid of the c, so add out c if it's not already on the other side. Okay? And then the second step is you take half of this number right here and square it. So half of b is b over 2. And square it. And so you add that to both sides of the equation. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side, and we're good. Okay, so then what you do here, this won't make sense till you see a problem, is you factor this side. This creates a perfect square trinomial over here, and it factors to a binomial squared. I'll show you in just a second. Okay, always does. If you follow these two steps right here, this is always a perfect square trinomial. Okay, and then simplify this side and then solve. So here we go. We're going to go through those steps. So find the value of c that makes the expression x squared plus bx plus c a perfect square trinomial, and then write this expression as the square of a binomial. So here we go. X squared minus 12x plus c. Okay, so c would be half of this number, which is negative 6, and then square it. Negative 6 squared is 36. So c equals 36. So if I plugged in 36 right here, now can you see this is a perfect square trinomial? 36 is a perfect square. That's a perfect square. It factors to x minus the square root of this guy squared. Square root of x squared is x. So this factors to x minus 6 squared. Okay, you'll see the advantage of that in just a second by completing the square. Okay, see what I did? I took half of this, which was 6, and then squared it. Okay, you don't need to worry about the negative sign because you're going to square it's going to be positive anyway. So half of 12 is 6, and 6 squared is 36. That's what C is right there. Okay, let's try it again with this one. Half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. So C equals 16. So when I plug in 16 right there, it factors to x plus 4 squared. Notice that's the square root of this, and this is the square root of that. All right, nice and easy, right? Okay, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, this guy's a little harder because 7's an odd number, and when I take half of 7, it becomes 7 halves. But that's okay. 7 halves squared is 49, so that's what C is. C is 49. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and factor this. Square root of that, square root of 49 is 7. The square root of 4 is 2, so this becomes x minus 7 over 2 squared. Boom, there it is. Isn't that exciting? Yes, I knew you would think so. Solve the equation by completing the square. Okay, here's the fun stuff, you guys. Okay, so the steps are to add out C, and this is the steps. This is section A right here. I just took a picture and put it right here. So I'm going to add this 3 to both sides. Okay, so there it is right there. Now I'm going to take half of this number, which is 1, and then square it, which is 1. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So it's half the middle number squared. All right, so over here, this factors to, this side factors to, it's always this sign in the middle, so it's going to be x minus, the square root of that is 1. X minus 1 squared over here equals 4. Okay, you guys with me? Nod your heads with me, say yes. Okay, and then square root both sides. Square root of 4 is 2. Okay, now I'm going to add 1 to both sides, so I get 1 plus or minus 2, so it becomes 1 plus 2 or 1 minus 2. Okay, 1 plus 2 is 3, 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Okay, so there's my plus or minus, and since 2 is a whole number, I can go ahead and add that with 1. Okay, and subtract it with 1. Okay, here C's already on the other side, so I don't need to add out C. Half of 10 is 5. 5 squared is 25, so I'm going to go ahead and add 25 to both sides. Okay, on the left, this sign goes in the middle, so a plus, so it's going to be x plus the square root of that is 5. X plus 5 squared equals 17. Square root both sides, plus or minus square root of 17, subtract 5, and you get negative 5 plus or minus square root of 17. Okay, your book is, at least my textbook, writes it as this, negative 5 plus root 17, negative 5 minus root 17. Here's my plus or minus. I think it's easier to write it like that, but whatever. Okay, all right, what else do I have? Okay, so let's solve this guy. Okay, so I'm going to add the 11/4 to both sides. Half of 5 is 5 halves. 5 halves squared is 25/4. 5 squared is 25. 2 squared is 4. So I'm going to add 25/4 to both sides. Okay, this sign goes in the middle, so it becomes x minus the square root of that's 5. Square root of that's 2. 5 halves squared. These already have common denominators, so I can add the numerators. 11 plus 25 is 36. So 36 over 4 reduces to 9, you guys. So now I'm going to square root both sides. So x minus 5 halves is plus or minus the square root of 9, which is 3. Now since I'm going to add 5 halves to both sides, I'm going to change 3 to 6 halves. 6 over 2 equals 3. So it's going to be plus 5 halves. So it's going to be 5 halves plus 6 halves. 5 halves minus 6 halves. There's my plus or minus 3. Here's my plus 3. Here's my minus 3. But I got common denominator. So 5 plus 6 is 11 halves. 5 minus 6 is negative 1 half. All right?